everybody, it's Becky. I'm back today with a kind of a fun video for you guys. Whether you homeschool or not, or you just want to find some educational things to do with your kids while they're home for the summer, this is our summer learning video. I have a couple of things that we have either planned to do or that we have already done with the girls as part of our summer learning series. So I kind of have it broken up into my 11-year-old, my 5-year-old, and then things that they're going to do together with all of, with the family. So for my 11-year-old, she uses the teaching textbooks for math. It's a program where they watch a lecture that's on a DVD, and then they follow along in the workbook and do the questions. And then if they miss a certain question, they can go back and watch the DVD, and it'll give a solution of how to work each individual problem. It's really nice because I'm really bad at math, and I'm even worse at explaining math, because even things I know how to do, explaining it to somebody else is really hard. She is doing at least a couple times a week, she'll keep going on with her teaching textbooks with her math. And she should be finishing she's doing grade 6 right now, and she should be finishing that probably, I would say, by the end of this fall. And then we'll get the next grade for her. But she really, it's doing really well for her. She's doing really good. It keeps grades for me, so I really like that. I don't have to grade any of her papers for math. It grades it for me. She's actually also going to be working on a money unit, and I'm going to teach her over time. I think it's really important that even adults you see that don't balance their checkbooks and don't keep receipts and don't, keep a budget or anything. I think it's really good to teach kids how to handle their money, not just how to save it, but what to do with it. How do you balance a checkbook? How does credit work? How do checking accounts work? How does savings account work? I'll put some links down below for some free money unit websites you can use that we're actually going to use. And it follows along based on your kids' ages, whether or not they're young children or teenagers or adults, how to save money, and it kind of gears it toward their level. There's some activities and little videos to watch. So I think it's just going to be a really fun, kind of a different thing for her to do, but it's still educational. It's a life skill she's going to need. And she also keeps up with her reading. She reads every night, at least 30 minutes a night. Right now she's reading part of the Kingdom Keepers series, which is what I had talked about in my Disney World education video over on the Moms with Mouse Ears channel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will try to remember to put links for that down below as well. But she likes those books. There's, I think, 7 in the series. And then she's also reading the Ever After High series of books. 2 new ones just came out that we got at the library, so she's reading those right now, and I'll put the links for those down below as well. I'm also wanting to focus on at least one life skill to do over the summer. So in addition to the money, I really want to work with her on how to do laundry from start to finish. We've started that a lot more with, she folds a lot more and puts away a lot more, but I really want from start to finish for her to sort the loads, how to use the washing machine, how much detergent to use, keeping track of when it's time to put it in the dryer, when it's time to get it out of the dryer, and things like that. So for her, that, I think even she could have really started that even sooner, but it didn't even occur to me. I've always done it, and never really thought, okay, she's 11 now, she can actually do laundry start to finish. So that's something I want to work on with her. And then gardening, we have a couple little small things around the front that we want to do, and she's really into flowers and growing things, so I think that'd be really fun just for her. My youngest daughter can do it too, but she's really interested in picking out the plants and digging all the holes and things like that. So that's going to be fun for her. For my 5-year-old, we are reviewing really what we did with Handwriting Without Tears, which is the handwriting program that we have used for her for pre-K. And we really are finished with that, but I want to just keep up with the letter review, uppercase, lowercase, things like that. And then I also purchased Hooked on Phonics kindergarten for her. We just started it this week, so far, within 5 minutes, she was reading some words already. So far it's been really good. If it ends up being something that we really enjoy long term, I'll end up doing a separate video about it for you guys. But that is something that we did purchase for her, and we're going to use it in her kindergarten, when school starts. But it's 20 minutes a day at the most, and I thought, why not start it now and go ahead and get her kind of a jump start on that. So she's working on that. And then we just kind of supplement here and there with some Leapfrog DVDs and her game on her Leapster, which is all about the alphabet and phonics and things like that. So she really likes playing her leap pad and doesn't really realize that she's learning. For her life skill, I really want to work on her with tying her shoes, memorizing her phone number, and how to write her last name. And their phone number is always important. Just in case they ever get separated, they need to know my name, like my real name and my last name, and not just mommy, and my phone number. So that's something I want to work on with her. For both of them, I mentioned in our summer bucket list video that we plan on visiting quite a few places. There's some library programs that we go to every year. They have pretty much the same ones every summer. We just did the animal program last week. There's some stuff coming up later on in July, I think. So we usually do participate in that and their reading program as well. We plan on visiting a local state park, which does have an attached zoo with it. And so we plan on doing that over the summer. What else? We just today actually visited the Children's Museum, so that was really fun, and the Museum of Natural History, so it was really neat to see like the dinosaurs and the Egyptian room and all that stuff. So that was fun. Then the main thing that we're working on is a constellation study. It's really fun for us to go through and do some different things to learn about the stars and the Earth and how we all relate together. So last week we went to a program. It was like an indoor traveling planetarium. It was really neat. You go in this big inflatable dome, and they project the show up on the ceiling, and it talks about misconceptions of, you know, what in ancient times, what they thought the Earth was like, and what they thought the sun was like, and things like that. And then it showed some really neat stars and how different constellations came about. So that was really fun. So that was part of kind of our kickoff to our constellation study. We have a couple things that we are doing along with that. The first thing is, and I covered up the name of the library, that's why there's post-it notes on here. There's two books in particular about constellations. This one is from Scholastic. It's written by F.S. Kim, and it's just called Constellations. And so it goes through and explains like the Big Dipper and the view from Earth, how many constellations there are. Did you know there were 88? I did not know that. And it talks about how in ancient times that they used the stars to track seasons and locations and things like that. The Big Dipper, how the sun relates to the seasons, the equator, history of constellations. So this is just a really neat book we're going to read through together. It talks about Stonehenge. So that one's really neat. We haven't really started reading that one yet. This one's really neat though. It's called Constellations, A Glow-in-the-Dark Guide to the Night Sky. And it's written by Chris Sasaki, S-A-S-A-K-I. I don't know. I'll have a link for this down below. But it's really neat. It's similar to the other one where it talks about the constellations, but it goes into a little bit more of a mythological look at what each of these constellations is. So like Ursa Major is the Great Bear, and it talks about the history of that. But the neat thing is when you turn the lights off, all these points that are just like the shape in the sky, they actually glow in the dark. This book is really neat how it does that. So it talks about Cassiopeia and Orion the Hunter and Taurus the Bull. So we're going to go through that. And so when we stop and read about each constellation, I have kind of a really fun thing that I found on Pinterest that I'll link below as well on how you can make your own indoor planetarium. So let me get that. I have the link below, and I can't take the credit for this. I did find it on Pinterest. But you can print out this sheet that's got all these different constellations on it, like this. You cut out the circles and you glue them on the bottom of like a muffin wrapper. And then when you poke holes in it, and then you attach it to a flashlight, so when you turn the light on, it shines the constellation on the ceiling or the wall or wherever. And so I thought that'd be just a really fun way we can obviously go and look at most of these outdoors, but it'd be really fun indoors too to have kind of our own planetarium night. So we made those, and that's really fun. And then also when talking about the moon, we did the Oreo moon phases. So there's 8 phases of the moon, and you just get Oreos, and the kids kind of eat their way to showing the 8 different phases of the moon. So they really enjoyed that. If I can find a picture of it, I did take a picture, I will insert it. But that was just a really fun way to talk about the 8 different phases of the moon. That's been really fun what we've done so far, and then I'm just excited to read through those books with the girls. But we are also planning on going to at least one of the local astronomy club has like a nighttime star gazing kind of a thing. I think it's once a month in the summer, and they bring all their big telescopes out and they take it to this nature sanctuary. So there's like no lights around, so you can actually see. We went to one last summer, and it was on the top of a building downtown, but you couldn't see anything because there was too many lights. Tomorrow night's actually the first one, so we're planning on going to that. Hopefully it'll be a good night with some clear skies so we can actually see some things. But it's just really neat, and it's free, and there's so many things like that available if you do some research in your local area. Even if you have some neighboring, places that aren't that long to drive. There's a lot of places that have free or really inexpensive things like that. That's kind of what we're doing for our summer learning series. It doesn't really seem like a lot, but we're busy with other things. We still do a lot of fun things. We go to the park, and when they have play dates, and we go to the skating rink and Sky Zone and places like that. So all that mixed in together, I feel like is a really well-rounded summer. They're getting a little bit of everything while still having time to be a kid and play outside. They're having time to do a little bit of learning, still making it fun, and keeping active by going to all those jumpy skating and places like that. So I hope this video was helpful and gave you guys some ideas of some things you can do with your kids over the summer or really anytime. I'll put the links down below for everything that I could find, for the stars and the books and the Pinterest thing with the flashlight. I'll put all the links down below for that. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.